Well, would you tell me that the reason why you are shutting down schools is because the weather is hot? So therefore, our kids shouldn't go to school. If I was in the north, it simply means my son would not be going to school because my colleagues, you know, my co-statesmen who are Muslims, and while I am not, are fasting. So my own child should be denied that 1 month period. Welcome to News in Nigeria TV, and it when we saw the Isbag order given to Muslim dominated areas in Nigeria, these are predominantly in the northern Nigeria, talking about Bauchi, Katsina, and some parts of Ilori. So many Christians, and in fact, yesterday, I think a member of the Christian Association of Nigeria challenged the Muslims, asking them that even the country that has this religion, which is the Saudi Arabia, do not shut down their schools because of the Ramadan fasting. And how come that we have what we call fanatics? I mean, these are people who, just because of religion, are ready to stop everything progressive in their life. That Saudi is not doing this, but you guys are doing it. That this is not welcoming. We do not accept it as a country. He is not talking as a Christian, but as a country, this is an unhealthy way of coexisting. And I agree. I sincerely agree. Because if we are saying that this country is, is circular in nature, we want to be seen as a country that has what we call religious tolerance, that it is not okay for some parts to be shutting down, because those that reside in those states are not all 100% Muslims. Yes, because in that school in Katsina or in Bauchi, as it were, you might have some fractions of Christians attending that school. It doesn't matter if it is written as Saudin Grammar School. It doesn't matter if it is uh, Jesus Loves You missionary schools. I mean, this is how we have been able to mix together. We have been able to concoct ourselves together, wherein we have now created a situation that we want to coexist irrespective of our religious divide. When you come out, you start pushing, you know, uh, instructions, and these instructions are being pushed by a body that is not constitutionally recognized. That it is more or less like you are tramping on the rights of other people in other religion. That it doesn't make any sense. That in fact, some parents who are Muslims would not want their children to be at home. It doesn't make any sense that so because I want to have a 30 days Ramadan fasting, this is a fasting that my daughter or my son, who is 12, 11, might not even have the strength, to partake in. Okay, maybe he's gonna fast to 12 and it breaks. I mean, that's okay. So, but why should you say these children to should have their school shut down? Why we're still in this argument, there are so many justifications coming in. I attended a seminar yesterday on this issue, and one of the things they said is, well, the caliphate, and of course the Muslims Umas, these are the elites. We know the Sultan is the highest elite when it comes to Muslim in Nigeria, and he has not come out to speak against all these policies. It simply means he is for it. It simply means the Sultan, if he is not speaking against the shutdown of schools, the shutdown of Christian centers, the shutdown of private schools that could be Christian owned, the Sultan cannot come out to regulate the Muslim affairs, talk against it, because he has been made the perpetual supreme leader of Muslims in Nigeria. Whether I am Yoruba, whether I am Igbo, whether I am, whatever you are, as long as you're a Muslim, you are under, you know, the supervision of the Sultan. And he's not speaking against this wanton abuse of even children rights. So it simply means one thing and one thing alone. He is for it. He supports it. In that meeting that I was yesterday, they said the reason why they are closing down those schools is because during the Ramadan fasting period that they have um, very high temperature, that the weather is always very harsh, that the weather is always very harsh. I sometimes I just take a step back and then I listen. Why would you use such as an excuse? Well, would you tell me that the reason why you are shutting down schools is because the weather is hot? So therefore, our kids shouldn't go to school. If I was in the north, it simply means my son would not be going to school because my colleagues, you know, my co-statesmen who are Muslims, and while I am not, are fasting. So my own child should be denied that 1 month period. Now you can see all of this does not make sense. It doesn't add up. We have a common educational curriculum. Why should you, because of your religious belief, break it? We are supposed to have that harmonious curriculum. All states across the country are supposed to have one curriculum that makes them move in one direction, that makes them move in the same speed. We're not going to have a situation whereby we start saying that the children in the south are moving faster than the children in the north. It is things like these that make the children in the north, left behind. These are the things that get them left behind. And when you call their elders, when you ask them that why are we having too much level of failures in WAHEC, in JAM, from the north, they start telling you it is because the federal government is not allocating so much money for us. They start telling us that it is because the South are privileged. That the South are privileged, that the federal government sort of channel more funds into the, educational trust fund for the southern schools. What a blatant lie. First, we have more schools in the north than in the south. Or should I say, we have more out of school children in the north than in the south. So, by extension, where do you think we need more federal government educational intervention funds? Of course, the north. You can agree with me. Secondly, we have more private schools in the southern Nigeria. From the middle belt down, we have more private schools there than in the north. So it simply means the north will rely more on government sponsored schools. So what does that mean? It simply means that government will channel more funds to the north. And means that the northerners are getting more funds. But just go and take a look at the current state of schools there. Those schools are in a state that even a goat cannot survive in it. A goat cannot survive in such school environment. These are the kinds of conversations their supposed elite, whether political elite, whether religious elite. These are the kinds of conversation I am supposed to be saying the Sultan, the Imams, the Umars, the Sheikhs, the likes of Gumis. These are the kinds of arguments. These are the kinds of complaint they ought to bring to the front burner, challenge their governors. If a Saudi Arabia can operate their schools during Ramadan, and I can state it categorically that in Saudi Arabia they have even a harder a harsher weather than we have in the north here, right? But they have been able to innovate. They have been able to invent things. And more importantly, they love their people. When you go there or when you take a look at Saudi Arabia school, just as I have my screen, you're going to see that there is no school in any zone, in any state, whatever nomenclature they use to describe their local government areas, no school, no matter how small or how big, that will not have a air conditioning system. When you ask the state governors in the north, you are building schools, you are not putting into consideration the hot weather. The hot weather doesn't only stop or doesn't only come when we have Ramadan. For a period of the Hamatan seasons, we have the dry seasons. I mean, this period sometimes might last as much as 4 to 5 months. Why, since 1960, Nigeria got independence, why have we not seen a state-owned school that is fully kitted with air condition in the north? When you ask them, they start telling you nonsense. Oh, it is because we are poor. Okay? It is because we do not have money. In fact, they might tell you, well, our children do not they do not prioritize education. They would rather go to under the tree and study their Quran. They want to go to the elementary schools. So if your kids want to even study the Quran, shouldn't they do that in a conducive environment? Shouldn't they do this in a conducive environment? So you can see how these northern oligarchs, I use the word oligarch intentionally, how they have been able to structure their community, and the backup phrase, the justiciable statement that they use, you know, is Sharia. They'll tell them, in accordance to the Sharia, which are being enforced by the ISBA. The ISBA enforcing agency was created on the premises of Sharia. Now, these ISBA guys are supposed to target only Muslims. Agreed, but we can see how they've spread their tentacles even into the minority Christian groups and communities in the northern region of Nigeria. What we have is just a clear show of intolerance amongst the people. That these people who are Nigerians, as constructed by the British Empire, were never meant to be together. These guys shouldn't have been living together, because if over a period of 65 years, they cannot find a way to at least separate their differences, respect these things, and say, okay, on this note, let us coexist. There is no point for us to keep arguing. There is no point for us to keep fighting each other. I think as normal human beings would do, we'll take our matter to a round table and then we'll just dissolve the country on a very peaceful note. Because if I am a Christian, I cannot take it that my child for 30 days, because my neighbor who's a Muslim is fasting. I thought religion should be something that is for your own personal development. So how has it now become a community development or a community impediment? Because what we are saying is your religion, as we commonly say it, is your personal property. It is your personal issues. If I am serving Jesus, you shouldn't have any business with me, and I shouldn't see you as a lesser human being if you believe in Muhammad or you believe in all those our traditional deities. What we should be discussing in an environment is how we want to push our environment forward, how we want to push our collective development, talk about roads, infrastructures, how we want to hold our political leaders accountable. It is a shame. I'm telling you, it is a very, very big shame. Let us listen to what some people have to say. In that seminar, I had to take my time and record very salient points and conversations of people, how they have been calling out the Sultan, calling out the Northerners, and now the Northerners are saying that we are Islamophobe. Please take your time and listen to these conversations. Bye for now.
I have an issue, and let me first start by saying it just shows value. That's just what this shows. It shows what these guys actually value. And I don't know why some people are like that. They put religion, like they carry it on their head. I'm not going to use that word now. And that's one thing I believe people are actually missing out in the sense that the world is evolving. And because the world is evolving, there are some cultures and there are some norms that have also evolved. For example, few years ago, if you wear trouser, or many years ago, if you wear trouser as a lady, you are seen as a prostitute. Sorry for using that word. But today, it's a norm to wear trouser. So the world has evolved. So in using the standard of whatever year to now apply it now doesn't work. So number one, they said that because of the heat, that is the excuse. And Omo Naija was not even trying to now compare it to snow. I know there was a day like that I was checking temperature, -9 degrees Celsius. There are places that are extremely cold, and these are not everyday occurrences. These are just once in a day, twice in a week occurrences. These are not daily occurrences, and these are natural disasters. These are not man-made. These are natural disasters. There's little to nothing that you can do about it. Just like COVID, there was little to nothing that we could do about it. All of us had to stay back at home during COVID. If that is the situation here, I agree, no problem. But that is not the situation here. You are saying the heat. But I don't think northern Nigeria is hotter than the Middle East. Yet, those in the Middle East, where religion is from, the two religions that we are worshiping that is causing this, where it is from, they are going to school. They are not closing down
Sorry,
their
sorry,
schools.
Salio, sorry. Some places they
Yeah.
are very hot. Some places they are very, very hot. As in very
Okay.
hot.
Okay, no
Yes.
problem. So, but
But that
if they are
that's
hotter
not a
than Middle East,
justification anyway.
they
I
are
think
hotter than
I'm not
Middle East.
I think is it Zaria? I don't know. I think maybe I should do the research very well because I don't
Okay.
Medugure,
okay,
So
why you trying to
that's
say
always
Wait,
boring
wait,
like.
wait, wait. I think in northern Nigeria, the hottest part is Meduguri, that's Bonu, Adamawa, Gombe. These three places,
so
you can get a very extreme weather. Very extreme. Like you can't eat without chasing fly up and down
oh
if you are
okay.
eating
Sorry
something.
about that.
okay. So then now, if the argument is weather that is extremely hot, the question I will ask them is that going to school, if the weather will be extremely hot, why can't we make provisions in school like they have in UAE and Saudi Arabia, like they have over there, to actually make the weather cooler? Why not do that? Why not create fans? Why not have ACs in school? I was watching a video of a school in India because this place is extremely hot. There was a way they built this school to make it conducive for the students. They put the windows
They would
high up.
rather avoid. They would rather avoid that responsibility because
Thank
those
you,
are their
Facial. That's number one.
Adamingo, that
No,
school is in the desert. That school is inside the desert.
okay, you've seen that video, Abby?
Yeah, very standard.
That
Very
Indian
standard
school.
school.
That they even did a way of collecting precipitation water. They built the school, where they put their windows is different. It's not normal. They put it extremely up just so that it can be conducive for learning. Why can't we do that? Now, if you now give me the argument, the question I will ask is that going to farm and going to school, which is more stressful? Are farmers not going to go to farm this period? They will go to farm this
Sally,
period.
Sally, they can even decide that they should close early. Do you understand? Like maybe
Yes,
one
they
o'clock.
can. That's number one. Number two is the argument of Christmas and Easter. Number one, school calendars are not wired around Christmas and Easter because in virtually every country or most countries, the calendars run from September to August. That is the standard calendar, September to August. And each term is practically 12 to 13 weeks. So by the time you calculate your 12 to 13 weeks, it will fall within that period. And Easter period, for example, changes. There are times that Easter is in March. There are years that Easter is in March. There are years that Easter is early April. There are years that Easter is late April. So school calendars, will it be changing because of that? No. So school calendars are actually around that period. Even for universities, if not for ASUU strike, universities too are supposed to run from September to August. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it is done in almost all countries. So this argument of Christmas and Easter, I don't understand. And Christmas is just one day, Boxing Day one day. If you calculate in Nigeria, for example, if you calculate the holidays that Christian have and the holidays that Muslim have, it's almost the same, if not the same number of days. And in fact, for Christians, for example, the days are fixed. Easter, Christmas. Christmas 2 days, Easter 2 days. Sometimes for Muslims, they get extra 3 days because they are looking for the moon. They get extra days because they didn't sight the moon the day they expect. It works that way. So, and you have public holidays. Automatically, you have an office birthday, you have it. You have Ileya, you have it. You have fasting, you also have that too. It's almost the same as Christians too. We have Easter, which is fast, and we also have Christmas and Boxing Day. So this argument of they give Christians this, Christian that, and that's another issue I have. Whenever you raise any issue, they will tell you Islamophobia. Whenever you raise any
Sally, can I
issue,
tell you something?
yeah, I'm listening.
Sally, let me tell you something. Can you hear me? Let me tell you something.
Yes, I
Yeah,
can hear you.
before I left Egbeda, the school my kids were going was a Muslim school. During Ramadan, to be candid, during Ramadan, they close between 1:32. In fact, they will tell you, they will put on their WhatsApp group that the school has closed. They don't close at 3 o'clock,
Damn,
which is okay and it's understandable.
there's a Muslim school in Osun State. They don't go to school Friday, Thursday. So their calendar runs from Saturday, Sunday to Wednesday. Thursday, Friday is midterm for them. I don't have issues with that. I don't have issues with that. If that's how the school, I don't have issues with that. Shall give them 2 days. Simple, okay, no problem. Also, I'm wondering how will they prepare their students for WAEC and JAMB? JAMB is starting almost immediately after Easter break. JAMB is in April. Right? Is it April or I think it's April, May also. How will they because I remember when I wrote my own JAMB. All through because of the way my school was, they don't do expo, they don't agree to anything. So your SS3 is rigorous work. We don't leave school until 6 p.m. That's when everybody is done, we have extra lesson just to prepare us for WAEC and JAMB.
Sally, now your time they know they do expo. Schools where they
No, my
now
own school no dey do
they run now.
is a Baptist school actually,
And
so
na your
they
own
don't
time,
they don't dey
na
gree.
your own time be
My
that one.
principal is very strict, very strict. He must not hear you, must not know. So how will they prepare their students for JAMB? Even if you do expo, it's only WAEC you can do expo for. How will they prepare their students for JAMB? For now, currently there is national mathematics competition ongoing, and I was asking AGN, he was telling me that they will go for the competition. You can't go to school, but you go for mathematics competition. Why will you go for mathematics competition? You should not go now. They should all of you should stay at home. Another issue that I have is that why is it Ishba that is giving the directive? Why not Ministry of Education from these states? Why Ishba? Because the meaning of it,
Let me answer the question. Family matters.
I'm listening. Yeah, what's the question? What's the answer?
Moti, sorry, I've answered you now. Na family matter. We have to sit on the round table.
Because uh, Ishba is supposed to enforce Islamic laws. And if people talk, you said this is not Sharia. Okay, no problem. This is not Sharia. Why is it Ishba that is giving directives to schools? Why? Why is not the Ministry of Education? This is not the first time these guys are fasting. This is not the first time we are fasting. What's special
Adam
about
Logo,
this year's fast?
Adam Logo, don't finish my point. You have almost exhausted my point on my list. So yeah,
Oh,
continue.
yeah, let me say
Please.
my last point. Sorry. Cause no, not at this
Don't
stage.
worry,
Since
don't
I've
worry. I'm
seen
just joking, but you're actually on point. You're on point. Carry on.
Yeah, since I've been seeing this argument, I've just been like, it doesn't make sense. 5 weeks is different from one day Easter or 2 days Easter holiday or 2 days Christmas holiday. They are different. Also, this circular is impromptu. During midterm break, there are provisions for parents where you have midterm holiday, midterm lesson in school, where you do till 12 and the kids are back. If you want to go and learn a trade, your parents would have worked it out that you go and learn a trade. Not that you just woke up a week two, no preparation. It wasn't like they've informed the parents, they did a PTA meeting, they informed the parents since January or since the beginning of the term that by so and so time, this is how our calendar will be shortened because of the fast. You just woke up a week to the fast and you just brought out
Darling,
directive.
stop stressing yourself. Okay, can I ask you a question?
I'm
Do you
listening.
now do you believe in what do you believe in the reform bill the president is bringing out now?
Is it the
Do you
VAT?
see why that bill needs to the tax reform?
It's not important. It's not necessary. We love one another, but we just need to do better.
I'm Anora Wapa. Don't worry. He has said it. Yes, we'll beat each other. Um, Thank you very much, Adami Logo. Malam, you have to pay to learn this, how to pronounce his name. Adami Mogo. Yes. I know he will change it another time. Um, I don't understand. I really don't. I can't put my head around it. Like, I used to teach, and before we actually even run the test, then prepare for the exam, we actually run like a revision class, maybe 2 weeks before the test or 2 weeks before the exam. Now, let's say the kids are of
It was
different
mock
religion.
exam.
Now, so before now, let's say the kids are of different religion, Christians, Muslim. We have other ones as well. Now, the governor or the state declares that there should be no such, there should be shutting down schools, private and public, for Ramadan. That actually affects all the other children. Or if it is not going to be shut down and they say it's just going to be only for Muslims, it means that when those children resume, we have to revise with them again. If not, they are going to have mass failure, and the class teacher is going to be blamed for their performance, and they will not look at other factors that contributed to their failures. Now, I think we have been too lenient with so many things about education in Nigeria. Why should same human beings within the same country sit for the same exam, and some are given privileges of educationally disadvantaged region or state above the others that actually sit to read and pass the exam and got serious with it? No doubt, these are children that are actually brilliant, but the way they run their educational system and the seriousness of their state governors or the state governors of each of the states is very appalling. So if like
In
Social said,
fairness, we are very fair in Nigeria.
so like the reason why there was a need for catching up, or I mean introducing this educationally disadvantaged region or state, I think it was region then, was because there were lesser numbers of educated northerners in the civil service and all
The
that.
defender, let me just help you. The current out of school children for those states is even 44%.
More than God. Very, very sad.
Okay, okay. It looks like what do you call it? We're losing the conversation into something else completely. So let's try and rein it back in. So consider this policy and its implication, right, on the wider, the wider Nigerian students.
Context.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I don't
Okay.
want it to be a Muslim
Okay,
versus
okay, 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 okay.
in
I
this
get it. Yeah,
situation.
I was also trying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, I got it. I was also trying to, but I think
But you
some.
see what it is. I believe that a lot of Muslims that also don't agree with this and would never, even if they were
Exactly.
in a policy
Yeah,
making position, they wouldn't even
yeah,
think or even prove this, right? So let's not try and create that binary, right?
yeah,
Let's look at this
yeah.
thing
Agree,
as
agree. I,
compassionately
yeah,
and as objectively as we can. I know it's a very difficult conversation to have because we understand the
yeah.
dynamics of Nigeria, right?
Ex,
The cultural and
exactly.
some of the institutional backdrops around us. Right? We understand,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah. I
we need
do.
to also be very circumspect to try not to um, victimize, alienate, or even what you call it, isolate
I'll handle it.
because of that.
Yeah, I get your point. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Social. Um, I mean, sincerely, it wasn't to spite anybody, to be sincere, but sometimes you get carried away when you're talking about issues like this because you can't fathom why a state governor would actually um, support something like this because you want to score some political points and you feel like the majority of your voters are Muslims, therefore you want to pander to that. You want to use that to actually make them feel like, oh, I care about our religion, and yet you don't provide them with the basic amenities and all of that that you're actually supposed to be responsible for. So I just feel somehow like they are being manipulated with religion, and it's not just even like you said. Let's not make it a segment thing. It's almost it depends on what is appealing to the people. Politicians would always want to play along to the sentiment of what their people want, irrespective of either it's Christianity or Islam. Whatever it is, they will do it. So for me, I'm confused because Adam Ilogo said something. It shouldn't be Isba that will be dictating the educational administration or administration of education in the state. It should be the education board or the Ministry of Education or from the Commissioner of Education. It shouldn't be a sort of a branch of a religious body that would be dictating the tone as though the governor has lost his own power to act as a governor while allowing such to be at the forefront
So I've
of.
got a question. Has the ministry, the federal Ministry of Education, has it responded to this? Has anybody put in a petition or not yet?
I can't say maybe anybody, if
Well,
anybody can.
I don't even think anybody needs to tell them to, say something about it. Once they see this happening, they should be able to, review,
Yeah,
investigate the
yeah, it's
see
basic
how,
education and basic
in the
education
broader
falls.
scheme of things, it can affect. Because I don't think it makes any sense. It seems very uh, yeah, it's like a very unclever way to avoid a responsibility from the government of those particular states.
Yeah. So I don't think even the federal ministry would even want to get involved. You know how sensitive state governors, how sensitive religion is. So some state governors see opportunities and they play politics with it.
No,
And
but bottom line is, see, all these things you're putting in, it doesn't make any sense, right? Because according to the Constitution of Nigeria, Nigeria is not a theocratic country. Even theocratic countries are not doing it,
exactly,
right?
but it's not being run in that manner. In reality, things are run differently. That's the point. So that was why I said that we are in a country where we have different system, why we having different system running um, in a country. So we should be having more like a single system. So why is a state governor? Because it's under basic education, so he's actually under their purview. So definitely. But for me, I just feel like those that are actually in support of this, apart from the state apparatus and all that, are just not sincere with themselves and just trying to play the Christian thinking. Oh, the calendar is a Christian calendar. I don't know if you ever heard this kind of conversation before. Oh, the calendar is a Christian calendar, so we are going to be following Islamic calendar. And when there is um, um, fasting the next year, it's going to change. So we'll now have to scatter the educational curriculum or schedule to fit into the moon or fit into other things. So it's sort of insensitive to the reality and all that for me. So let me mute at this point so other people might say something.
Hello, Social.
A
Yeah,
big shout out
okay.
to you, Muslim Iqbal, and Ramadan Mubarak.
Yeah, we are fasting. So right now we are preparing to break my fast, and we are praying for good prospects in this month of this year. Hello, Defender.
I was going to ask, is this not Three? Are you a Muslim? You know you have a unique voice, so you've been changing your name recently. I don't know. Maybe you are preparing to marry another Yarinya from maybe Castina, and the children will be staying at home when it's fasting.
Of course, now they need to take holidays because there's no strength. I want to get married to Fulani as my third wife. You know, so Malamogre will be the one that will do the nikah for us. He's the imam. We invite him Malamogre also. Then Master Chef. I've been a Master Chief. Hello, Master Chief.
Yeah, Master
Ujewu.
Chef will be taking care of the kittens.
Tan, what's Wagwan?
Are you a Jamaica? Like
Yeah,
Nana
yeah.
speaking Jamaica?
I
Where
am
is
in
Guan?
Jamaica.
You
Wagwan.
don't wish us for the Ramadan. What is going on? As wish you don't wishing people for Ramadan. At least you have your own colleagues here where they are Muslims. No?
I don't do what? Wish people Ramadan.
I say
I
wish
can't
for the Ramadan. I mean the fasting. No, we are in the fasting month and the fasting just
my
started
dear.
yesterday.
I don't even know how to wish, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. Is it happy Ramadan or blessed? I don't know the right thing to say. That's why.
Can you say Ramadan Mubarak?
Okay, Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan Mubarak. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's yeah. But Tan, okay? Yeah, you're Muslim, right? Tan,
Of
are you
course,
okay?
I'm
That's
a
He's an
Muslim.
aspiring sheikh. Yeah, but I don't know whether it's a milkshake
or did
or a
you become
protein
Muslim for
shake.
economic reasons, Tan? Because I don't trust you. Like money too much, Tan.
Well, you're supposed to know that in Nigeria, anyway is the way. You know, one of the things, Master Chief, you know, Delta State has the Islamic board in our Delta State government. And they also have their quotas. And